it's the Techie TVI here. I am doing this tutorial today on using and creating Google Forms. So obviously I'm going to start out on Google, and I should note that I have a Google Suite account through my school. So if you just have a regular Google account, you won't be able to use the forms unless someone sends them to you or you use the link. You should be able to use it if you have the link from my post. But let's get started. So on the Google page, the top right, you have Gmail, images, and then you have these 9 squares, and then you have your profile. So I'm going to click on the squares because that brings up all the Google apps that I can use. And forgive me if you're very techie and know all the correct terms for things. I don't. I just am one of those people that likes to learn and teach myself. So I may not call things by the correct name, but I'll do the best I can. So you see this first page, you have account, Gmail, Drive, Docs, Sites, and a whole host of other things. And then down at the bottom there is the selection of more. So I'm going to click on that. It brings up the second and third page. You can also just scroll. But the one I'm looking for says forms. It's the purple, looks like a piece of paper with 3 bullets and lines on it. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to take me to my page of forms, and it's going to show up the forms that I've created. I have done my ECC screening form, the Infused Skill checklist, and I also created this item request form that teachers can access from my county's vision page. They fill out their name, what they want to order, and then they submit it when they're finished. And I can check responses here also. So whenever I get an email response, and you can see under responses it says get email notifications for new responses. So now that I have those enabled, when a teacher fills it out, I'll get an email that says, hey, somebody filled out your form. So that's just one way that I use a Google form. And I use it because teachers can access that website from home. So if they're working on their lesson plans and they think, let me look and see what I can get to help my student with a visual impairment be able to access this lesson. So they can go on, look at the APH. If they find something that they like, they put the name, the order number, or the item, and the catalog number, which that's in the description there. But the main reason that I started using them is for my ECC screening. And you'll see I have about 3 copies of it because I share it with people and it gets edited and they change things around. So this is the one that I keep for my personal use that nobody else can edit except me. So you can, when it comes up, you will see there it is. Okay, it has the title, and then it has that what I use to make this screening. And yes, I do have permission from TSBVI to use this. And first, on the first page, it'll ask them for their name and the student's name. That's just to prevent if I have 2 students at the same time, if someone fills it out and it gets mixed up, I can filter it or delete that response, or print it out, delete the response, and re-enter it later. But so you have different sections. So you at the top of this it says section 1 of 10. You can add different sections, and those turn into pages. And at the bottom, you can choose what happens when they finish that section. So after section 1, they can go to section 3, or go to section 2, 10, or go to submit form. So I want them to automatically go to section 2, which is compensatory skills. It's the first category on that ECC needs checklist. And I put the description just like it is on the printed form that TSBVI came up with. This is not something new and original that I've done. I've just updated the use of the form. So I have strength, need, not a need at this time. I kept it the exact same way that TSBVI had it, because if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So all of these are strength, need, not a need at this time. And then on some of them, they ask if there's skills in that category that they feel the student needs to address. If they do, list them. And I have a short answer text so they can list those there. So you can create different question formats, and the responses will show up accordingly. So I don't have any responses for this form, but what I'll do is I will show you on a preview what it will look like. So teacher name is Blevins. Student name is Timmy. I'm going to go to next. And then I can select strength, not a need at this time. Others should not be on there. So see, this is where I've saved a copy and someone has edited it and I didn't catch that. But they'll go through all the different pages, and let's say they don't think there's any extra skills, so I'm going to click no, because all of these I have as required, so they have to answer these before they can go on. And you saw whenever I hit submit, it took me up to the ones that I had not answered. So now I can go to page 2, and you'd continue on, or they would continue on to finish filling out the form. So I'm going to go back and back again and edit. So to create your own form, hey guys, I forgot to add that you're going to hit the back button at the top right of the corner to go back to the main Google Forms page. I'm going to go to blank just because I'm going to show you from scratch what all you can do. So you see it says Untitled Form. I'm going to change the name to Tutorial. And when I change the name, it automatically changes it here. You can move it to the right of the name at the top left of the screen. You can put it in a folder, star it so you know it's important. Add-ons is like a publisher thing, but I cannot for the life of me figure it out. So themes, you can make it as fancy or as plain as you want it. Choose an image. You can upload your own. Look at your albums on Google. You can do work in school, weddings, anything that you want to use these for, really. You can adapt it. So usually if I put one, it's work or school, or I have uploaded my own. So I can put that in. It'll automatically adjust the theme color, and that changes what the background colors could be. So you can make it whatever you want. If you do not want the image there, you just click the X. Sorry. And you can select your own specific color. If you want a dark background. You can change the font style to be as fancy, or there's playful or formal or basic. I just do basic. It's the easiest one to read. I don't have to worry about my teachers or anybody having issues. So I've got my form set up the way I want it to look. Now, the form description. This is where I put what I want from the form or what the form is. So you can fill that out accordingly. Untitled question. You have different options: multiple choice, check boxes, drop down. You can file upload. I don't do that. I usually just type in my answer or type in my question. You can do a linear scale, which is like a rating of 1 is they really liked the work, or 1 is they really didn't like the workshop, 10 is they really loved it. Multiple choice grid, checkbox grid, date, time, which I don't. Oh, that's where I have this if I want them to put in the day whenever they're filling out the form. Short answer, paragraph. These are pretty self-explanatory. Most of the ones that I use are these 3 in the middle here: multiple choice, check boxes, and drop down. So let's say I have question 1 and it is multiple choice, and I have options A. So, and you can see it suggests add all B, C, D. It's going to change all of those. So I have A, B, C, D, and let's say all of my questions on this form are going to be multiple choice. I can go down to the bottom where it says, looks like a square with part of another square behind it, and it's the duplicate button. So I can duplicate it. It copies it. I change it to say question 2, and I can go on, duplicate it again, and change it to question 3. I don't have to continuously re-put in those multiple choice answers. So that's how I did the ECC screening. Now, you can also add an image. So if I wanted to, on my Oregon project, which I will not be sharing that because Oregon project specifically asked me not to share it. So, sorry. If you want it, you have to do it yourself. So, I can search Google for an image. Let's say I want a bunny. And I'm going to put the bunny in question 3. And you can change the size of that if you want it. I used this function when the Oregon project had a bunch of different options, and I needed them to select how they did those different skills, and then they could select the different skills, or how they did those different skills. I'm sorry. You can also, so I've got my tutorial or my form, and let's say I want this to be in a new section, or the wrong one. So I accidentally put in the wrong question. I can just delete it. I want this to be in a new section. So add section. And again, that just makes it a new page. So you can see that my question 1 got put with my title. I don't want that. So if you hover over the question, you'll see right in the middle there are 6 dots. I'm going to click and drag it down to the next section. So now whenever we look at it, you'll have the opening. They'll go to the next page and have questions 1, 2, and 3. You can add questions. You can add titles and descriptions to the sections. You can add videos. It's really simple. You just really need to play with it. If there are any extra questions that you have about creating a form, or ways that you can create a form, or questions, let me know. I'll be more than glad to record another tutorial, or set up a time that you can call me. I can walk you through it. So you saw the customized theme. Now we have preview. That allows you to see the form as the people that you send it to will see it. So I have tutorial next. Question 1, question 2. And again, you can see that all of these are required. And I'll show you how to take that off. So I'm going to submit the form. And then I'm going to go back. Close out of that. So you can see now that someone has responded. I did that test response. It shows up under the other tab at the top, responses. But let's say I did the test response and I don't think they need to answer question 2. I'm going to click question anywhere on question 2. And down at the very bottom, there's a slider switch. And you see it says required. I'm going to take that off. So now they can answer the form, but they don't have to answer question 2. And for responses, when you click on it, the summary adds all of the responses together. So question 1, you can see everybody picked A. Question 2, A. Question 3, C. So you get all the data compiled when there's more than one response. So you've created your form, you've tested it out, you've added all the media that you want, images, you've got your responses, and now you're ready to send it to people. And if you are not actively using this form, you can change down at the under responses, you can change it to accepting responses. Just switch that off. That means that you're not going to get any of the responses. And just like I showed you earlier, the 3 dots, get email notifications for responses. If once you get all your responses, you want to create a spreadsheet, you can do that also. And you can also change this by individual answers. So this is why I have people put in their names. So if I have a question or I need to look at which teacher is saying that this student doesn't have a skill, I can do that. And then I can print and then delete the response when I'm done with it. To share it, you're going to go to send, and then you can type in the email. And I don't usually collect the respondent's email because I usually have everybody's anyway. These other options, you can do a link or embed the HTML. Just email it to your people. You can change the subject of the email and the message. And as far as if you wanted to use this with your students, you can make it a quiz. So under the setting wheel, which looks like a little gear, you can collect email addresses. Again, I don't use that. I can restrict it to users just in my district. I take that off because some of my parents won't be in that. Edit or respondents can edit after they submit, which I take that off. And see summary charts and text responses. I don't do that because I don't want parents to see what the teachers are saying. I do show a progress bar, and I do not want them to be able to submit another response, so I take that off. You can do a confirmation message, which is thank you for completing my form. If you could type better than me. And then quizzes, like I said, if you want to use it with a student, you can make it a quiz. Turn on the point value. You can, as soon as they're done, immediately let them know what they made, or you can do later after you review it specifically. Locked mode is on a Chromebook. They won't be able to exit out of it while they're on it, but I don't use that because I don't need to save. But that's an option if you want to use it. I have a student now that's using a Chromebook, and if teachers want to know how to use it with the students, you can show them that feature. But I'm sorry if that was quick. For some reason I can't upload the video so for 30 minutes to YouTube, so try to go really fast. But if you have any questions, comment on the post and I will respond. I hope that this was beneficial. It was just kind of a general overview. If you are a TVI that is visually impaired, I am also working on typing the directions in a Word format that I can send. So if you send me a contact on the website and say, hey, I need the Word document directions, I'll be more than glad to send those to you. So I hope this has been beneficial. Look for more tutorials. I have another one coming on an iPad app that I use. So I hope you guys have a great day, night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I will see you at the next tutorial. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, feel free to contact me. This is my first tutorial and I promise to get better. Thank you for your support. The Techie TVI.